Well, the Nokia 8 consists of a lovely one-piece aluminium design, which is nice and slender despite the 5.3-inch build. It's 7.9mm at its thickest point around the camera spine, diving down to around 7.3mm for the rest of it. You can get it in a matte or a glossy finish, which Nokia is referring to as polished. You can get it either in this lovely matte blue, a polished blue, a matte silver, or a polished copper, which is absolutely stunning and really stands out from the rest of the smartphone crowd. As you can see, quite a sort of a minimalist design. The aerial bands are nicely sort of merged in with the rest of the phone as a similar sort of colour, so they don't stand out at all. Up top, of course, as you see here, you've got a headphone jack, always good to have. Moving around to this side, you have the micro SD memory card slot, which also doubles as the SIM card slot. Round onto the bottom, you've got Type-C USB for charging, and of course the old speaker grill. And then around to this side for the power button and the volume button. And then on the back, of course, you do have the camera spine there. As you can see, it's two lenses on the back, which we'll touch on later in partnership, of course, with Carl Zeiss. So it's a 5.3-inch Quad HD screen, super bright. It's on top brightness here, and in the harsh daylight of midday London, you can clearly see what's going on. Nice sharp visuals as well, thanks to that Quad HD resolution. As you can see, reasonably thick bezels above and below and to the sides of the screen, which add a little bit of extra girth to the Nokia 8. It means that it's similar sort of size to the OnePlus 5, despite having that 5.3-inch display. It certainly seems a flagship-worthy screen, that's for sure. Nice vibrant colours, certainly nice and punchy off the screen. Not too hyper-realistic though. Hopefully should still get some nice reproduction from your photos and the rest. Now, it's full Android Nougat on board, as you can see here, version 7.1.1, and as with the Nokia 3, 5 and 6, which were previously released by the HMD brand under the Nokia branding. It's a nice, pure, simple version of Android. As you can see here, pure and clean. They haven't really added much in the way of apps or anything, or overlay features, so it's nice and simple. I'll keep the performance nice and nippy, and should hopefully mean that it'll get full upgrades to Android Or in no time whatsoever later in 2017. Not that performance should really be an issue for the Nokia 8, because it's running Qualcomm's nippy Snapdragon 835 processor, which means that nipping through menus, loading up apps and all the rest of it is a super swift experience. And of course it has a bit of liquid cooling technology built in there as well, as long as a graphite shield which apparently disperses the heat throughout the phone, which means that there shouldn't be any hot spots even when you're getting busy with the camera shooting a bit of 4K footage or playing the game on the go. The Nokia 8 has 4 gigs of memory on board and also 64 gigs of built-in storage, so plenty of space for all your apps and all the rest of it. As you can see here, only 15 gigs is used up by the OS and the rest of it at the start. So that's still plenty of space available. And you can expand up to a further 256 gigs via that micro SD memory card support. Which brings us onto the camera tech, and as you saw before, we've got that dual lens, dual sight camera on the back. It's two 13 megapixel lenses, one 30 megapixel colour and one 30 megapixel monochrome. The colour has built-in OIS for image stabilization purposes, and so far it looks like a nice nippy snapper. Just tap the button and away you go. You can also shoot up to full 4K Ultra HD footage using that rear camera, and also using the 13 megapixel front-facing camera as well. And one of the more interesting aspects of the Nokia 8's camera interface is the fact that you can go into this dual mode, which uses both the front and the rear cameras at once to capture what HMD has termed a bothy. That's using obviously both of their cameras. So you can take snaps like this, or you can also shoot full 4K video in this mode as well. And as well as just shooting standard photos and videos in this mode, you can also live broadcast to both Facebook and YouTube using both the front and rear cameras to capture your reaction as well as whatever is going on in front of you. In terms of general camera features, that seems to be about your limit. You've got obviously lots of settings you can mess around with for watermarks or location tagging and the rest of it, but generally quite a streamlined camera interface, which is always good to see. If you tap this little button here, you do get a few little handful of bonus modes. You can shoot panoramas, for instance. You've got the obligatory beautify mode in order to make yourself look all glam. Got a bit of live bokeh as well, which of course uses those two lenses together in order to capture a nice sort of blurring effect in the background and make your subject stand out. And you also have full manual controls should you want them to toggle the likes of white balance, landscape modes, all that kind of stuff. In the video mode, you also have the option to shoot slow motion as well as time-lapse footage, and as we mentioned before, up to 4K resolution video too. And when you are shooting video, Nokia/HMD has got a new Ozo audio feature built in, which basically uses 3 independent mics situated around the phone to capture 360-degree surround sound audio. So good if you're busy shooting a bit of a gig or in a sort of a noisy environment. It'll hopefully cut down on noise cancellation during phone calls and the likes of that as well. And so that is the Nokia 8 flagship phone so far. Certainly seems like a worthy rival to the likes of the OnePlus 5. Check out our full comparisons on those.